If you have these lines on your nails, your body is lacking this. It's not age. You look at your hands, you touch the surface of your nails, and they are no longer smooth. You feel some ridges, some vertical lines that go from the cuticle to the tip, as if the nail were scratched, wrinkled, or aged. You go to the dermatologist or ask your doctor. They look at your hands for 2 seconds and tell you the typical phrase, that's normal. It's because of age. They are the wrinkles of the nails. Don't worry. Or worse, they tell you it's dryness and send you to buy an expensive nail hardener polish. Hello, I'm Dr. Wagner Yangwa, and today I am going to reveal what functional dermatology knows about these lines. No, it's not just age. Your nails are not simply an aesthetic adornment. Biologically, they are the printed medical history of your last 6 months of life. And these deep vertical lines are your body's desperate cry for nutrients that it has been months or years without receiving correctly. For you to understand, you need to know a brilliant survival mechanism that your body has called physiological triage. The tissue of your nails, keratin, grows very fast, but your brain knows it is not a vital tissue. You won't die if a nail falls off, but you will die if your heart or liver fails. When your body starts to lack iron, zinc, B-complex vitamins, or when your thyroid gland starts to fail, your brain panics and closes the faucet of nutrients to your hands and feet. It redirects all the blood and vitamins to your internal organs to keep you alive. Your nails are the first to suffer hunger. The matrix, which is the factory that is under your cuticle, starts to work halfway. It builds the nail without the proper cement, and that's why it grows striated, fragile, and deformed. Those vertical lines are the payment receipt of an internal metabolic deficiency. And you're surely thinking, but Dr. Wagner, I eat healthy, I eat meat, I take vitamins. Why am I lacking nutrients? There's the trap. In the next few minutes, I will explain why your stomach is betraying you and not absorbing what you eat. I will give you the exact protocol to nourish that matrix from within. But I warn you at once, if you keep using a very common chemical product you have in the bathroom to cover those lines, you are suffocating the nail and worsening the problem. If you are tired of hiding your hands and want to understand what your body is screaming for, pay close attention. Surely you are in front of the screen looking at your nails and thinking, Dr. Wagner, this doesn't make sense. I eat meat. I eat vegetables. I take my multivitamin every day. How is it possible that my body is suffering from malnutrition in the nails? And this is where integrative and functional medicine gives us the answer that most doctors don't have time to explain to you. The problem is almost never in what you put in your mouth. The problem is in what your stomach is capable of absorbing. Let's talk about the trap of hypochlorhydria. For your body to be able to extract minerals from food, especially iron and zinc, your stomach needs to be a pool of boiling acid, an extremely acidic environment to break down proteins. But as we pass 40 or 50 years of age, the production of that stomach acid drops drastically. And if you add chronic stress to that, or if you are one of those people who lives taking gastric protectors like omeprazole or antacids after every meal, you have just extinguished the fire of your digestion. You eat the best meat in the world, but because you don't have enough acid, the minerals pass right through your intestines and end up in the toilet. You are malnourished with a full stomach, and there are two exact minerals that, when not absorbed, immediately destroy the structure of your nails: ferritin and zinc. First, ferritin is your deep iron reserve. When you go to the doctor and get a blood test, they tell you that you don't have anemia because your hemoglobin is normal, but that is a deception. Your body can have normal hemoglobin, but the iron reserves, ferritin, can be on the floor. Under your cuticle is the factory of your nails called the nail matrix. That matrix needs perfect blood supply full of oxygen. If you lack ferritin, your blood does not transport enough oxygen. The factory suffocates. The cells that should form a smooth and strong nail are born weak, wrinkled, and cracked. That vertical line you see is literally the trace of a cell that was born suffocated. Second, zinc. Zinc is the biological architect that builds keratin, the hard protein of your nail. When you don't absorb zinc, the nail becomes as thin as paper and breaks with just a brush against a piece of furniture. When you combine the suffocation due to lack of iron and the lack of the architect due to lack of zinc, the result is that striated and dry texture that you are so ashamed to show. And what does 90% of people do when they see this? They commit the worst chemical error possible. Do they go to the pharmacy and buy a nail hardener polish with calcium? Or do they get acrylic nails to cover the ugliness? I tell you as a doctor, you are committing a crime against your own biology. In the next part, I will explain why those polishes are suffocating and burning your matrix, and I will reveal what is the true nutritional cement, and it's not calcium that will fill those lines from the inside out. When you see those dark or deep vertical lines, your first instinct is to hide them. You go to the cosmetics section and buy a bottle that says in giant letters, nail hardener with extra calcium. You apply it, the nail shines, feels hard, and you believe that you have solved the problem. As a doctor, I have to tell you the truth. You have just fallen into one of the biggest marketing traps in the industry. First, let's destroy the myth of calcium. Your nails are not bones. They are not made of calcium. They are made of a dead protein called keratin. Putting calcium on your nail is like putting gasoline in an electric car. Biologically, it makes no sense. Your nail cannot absorb it. But the real danger is not that calcium doesn't work. The danger is that the chemicals that come in that bottle. For that nail hardener polish to temporarily make your nail rigid, it uses substances like formaldehyde, formalin, and toxic resins. These chemicals create a crystal layer on top, but underneath, they literally dehydrate the nail plate, sucking the little moisture and natural oils that your suffocated nail had left. And the disaster is complete when the following week you use acetone to remove that polish. Acetone destroys the lipid barrier, the protective fat of the nail. The result is that when you remove the polish, the nail underneath is twice as dry, twice as cracked, and the vertical lines are even deeper. You are caught in a cycle where you yourself are destroying the tissue by trying to hide it. You are trying to cover a leak by painting the ceiling instead of fixing the broken pipe. To fill those vertical lines, you don't need toxic paint. You need to give the matrix, the factory of your nail, the real biological cement. And that cement has a name and surname, biotin, or vitamin B7. Biotin is the vitamin responsible for joining the keratin bricks. When you have a good amount of biotin, your body builds a compact, smooth, and water-resistant nail. But here we return to the problem of your intestine. Biotin is largely produced by the good bacteria in your colon. If you have an inflamed intestine, if you live taking antibiotics, or eat only ultra-processed food, your microbiota is destroyed and does not produce biotin. The factory runs out of cement. Remember that this is a masterclass in physiology to empower you and help you understand your biology, not a medical consultation that replaces your dermatologist or endocrinologist. You already understood that the problem comes from a lack of deep iron, or ferritin, a lack of zinc, and the absence of biotin due to poor stomach absorption. Now let's solve it. In the next part, I will give you my nail restoration protocol. I will tell you exactly what adjustments to make in your mornings to ignite your stomach acid, how to absorb the minerals correctly, and what key nutrients you should look for so that in the next 3 months, the new nail begins to grow completely smooth and strong from the base. Prepare pencil and paper because we are going to restart that factory. The moment for action has arrived. You already know that applying toxic polishes is like trying to cover the sun with one finger, and that your stomach needs help absorbing minerals. We are going to restart the factory of your nails. I call this clinical approach the nail restoration protocol, and it consists of 3 exact steps that go from your stomach to your fingertips. If you do this, the new nail that starts to emerge from your cuticle will come armored. Take note. Step 1. ignite the digestive fire. It's useless to buy the most expensive supplement in the world if your stomach doesn't have acid to dissolve it. If you don't suffer from bleeding ulcers or acute gastritis, you are going to do this. 15 minutes before your main meals, you are going to take 1 tablespoon of organic apple cider vinegar, the one that comes with the mother, cloudy at the bottom, diluted in half a glass of water. That vinegar is not for burning fat. That's a myth. We use it for its acetic acid. By taking it, you lower the pH of your stomach, creating the perfect acidic environment so that when you eat, your body can extract zinc and iron from foods and send them directly to your bloodstream. You are repairing your digestion. Step 2. The fusion of iron and vitamin C. Your nail matrix needs blood rich in oxygen and ferritin. You are going to increase your consumption of lean red meats, liver, or if you prefer plant-based sources, lentils and spinach. But here is the medical secret. Vegetable iron is not absorbed well unless you combine it with vitamin C. If you eat a plate of lentils, squeeze fresh lemon on top, or eat a kiwi or a red bell pepper as a side dish, that vitamin C acts like a key that opens the door of your cells for iron to enter. And for the nail cement, if you are going to look for a biotin B7 and zinc supplement, make sure the zinc is picolinate or glycinate, which are the only ones your body absorbs without causing stomach discomfort. Step 3. Matrix shielding. Goodbye acetone. You are going to throw away those chemical hardeners and acetone. From today, the only external care you are going to give your nails is pure biological hydration. You are going to get jojoba oil or sweet almond oil. Every night before sleeping, you are going to put 1 drop at the base of each nail, and you are going to massage the cuticle gently for a few seconds. This does 2 things. It stimulates blood flow right in the nail factory, the matrix, and creates a healthy lipid barrier of fat that prevents the nail from drying out and cracking while you sleep. But I'm going to ask you for something fundamental: biological patience. Your nails grow on average about 3 millimeters per month. If you have completely striated nails, a total replacement of the nail from the base to the tip takes about 6 months. You won't see results next week. But if you are consistent, in about 4 to 6 weeks, you will notice that the new nail that starts to grow attached to the cuticle comes out smooth, pink, and strong, pushing the old and striated nail outwards. It's a beautiful regeneration process if you give your body what it asks for. However, there are lines in the nails with which you cannot have patience. Lines that do not scream malnutrition, but are a maximum emergency alarm. In the final part of this video, I will reveal the nail red flags. If your nail has a dark or black line that doesn't disappear, or if you suddenly notice horizontal grooves that cross the nail from side to side, you could be facing a silent tumor, or it could be proof that your heart suffered a heart attack. Pay extreme attention to what's coming, because this information saves lives. We have reached the test of fire. Up until now, I've spoken to you about the vertical ridges that look like wrinkles. These are signs of malnutrition and lack of absorption. But as a doctor, my duty is to teach you to recognize when a line on your nail stops being an aesthetic problem to become a medical emergency that could cost you your life. If you look at your nails right now and show any of these 2 signs, I want you to stop looking for home remedies and call a dermatologist or your doctor today. Red flag. Number 1, the black line. If you suddenly notice a vertical dark brown or intense black line that crosses your nail from top to bottom, and you are 100% sure that you didn't crush your finger with the door, be careful. We call this melanonychia. In most cases, it can be benign, but there is a percentage that is the manifestation of a subungual melanoma, a type of extremely aggressive skin cancer that hides underneath the nail. Bob Marley passed away due to a melanoma that started exactly like this under his toenail, and which at first they confused with a simple bump. If you have a black line that doesn't disappear as a nail grows, or that is widening, it needs an urgent biopsy. Red flag. Number 2, horizontal lines, Bow's lines. If the lines you have on your nails do not go from top to bottom, but go from side to side, as if someone had taken a shovel and dug a deep trench across your nail, your body survived a war. We know these as Bow's lines. They do not indicate malnutrition. They indicate that a few months ago, you suffered a devastating event for your body, a silent heart attack, a very serious infection like pneumonia, a very high fever, or physical shock. Your brain completely and 100% stopped the production of cells in your nails to try to save your life. The nail stopped growing for weeks, and that horizontal groove is the scar of the moment you almost died. I am not revealing this information to fill you with fear, but to give you the greatest superpower that exists: prevention. Listening to your body when it whispers prevents it from having to scream at you with a serious illness. For the immense majority of you, those soft vertical lines are simply the payment receipt of a stomach that needs more acid and a diet that needs more real nutrients, not toxic paint. Now I want us to do a community diagnosis. Look at your hands at this precise moment and see the comments. Are your nails completely smooth, or do they have vertical ridges? Did you use those nail hardener polishes believing they were doing good? Confessing it below helps thousands of people realize they have been making the same mistake. I will be reading and responding. And remember that fixing your stomach, as I taught you with apple cider vinegar, is just the first step. If in the mornings you eat a healthy breakfast that actually paralyzes your metabolism and drains your energy for the rest of the day, your body will continue to suffer. In our next video, I will reveal the 3 supposedly healthy breakfasts that literally block your thyroid. Subscribe to the channel right now and activate the bell icon so you don't miss that medical class. I am Dr. Wagner-Youngwa, and always remember our golden rule. Aging is a biological process that we cannot stop, but aging sick, weak, and malnourished from within is entirely optional. See you in the next one.